Even as opposition leader WION Guaido mounts this final offensive, all eyes are on one man, President Nicolas Maduro. Will he or won't he cave in and cede power? One way of understanding that is to ask, who is this man? Our next report wraps all that up, all that you need to know about the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro.
Nicolas Maduro was born in Venezuela's capital, Caracas, into a working-class family. This former bus driver began his political career as a trade unionist. A strong supporter of former President Hugo Chavez, he was first elected to the National Assembly in the year 2000.
Nuevo vicepresidente que es Nicolas Maduro.
He served 6 years as foreign minister, and at the time he had a rather dull image. Never to divert from President Chavez's line. He denounced US foreign policy and cultivated allies in emerging markets such as Russia and China. In October 2012, Maduro was named vice president, and then Chavez's handpicked successor 2 months later. As Chavez's illness worsened, Maduro became the de facto leader. He became acting president of Venezuela in March 2013, 3 days after the death of Chavez. Maduro, the ruling Socialist Party's candidate, won the controversial presidential election, but only by a very narrow margin. The opposition candidates even refused to recognize the election result. There were allegations of thousands of voting irregularities. Despite that, Maduro was sworn in. And he largely continued Chavez's policies, including nationalizations, tight state control of the economy, and financial support for allies such as communist-led Cuba. Like Chavez, Maduro too has a penchant for extreme rhetoric. He has accused enemies of plotting to assassinate him. In March this year, Maduro said that far-right figures in the United States were plotting to kill him. Maduro is married to Celia Flores, a former leader of the National Assembly, and the two have long been viewed as a power couple in the government. Maduro was raised a Roman Catholic, but he and his wife are supporters of the late Indian spiritual guru Sai Baba. Spirituality aside, trouble for Maduro started brewing almost immediately after he became president. In 2014, Venezuela's economy entered a recession, triggered by a fall in crude oil prices. The oil-rich nation topped the global misery index for 2 consecutive years, and inflation spiraled up to unimaginably high levels. Venezuela was mired in deep economic crisis despite its vast oil reserves. Shortages of food and medicine have prompted more than 3 million Venezuelans to move out in recent years. In fact, it was the dire state of the economy that sparked off the first citizen protests. While a few left-leaning governments in the region like Cuba and Bolivia continue to back Maduro, other pro-US neighbors like Brazil and Colombia want Maduro out. Bureau Report, WION World is One.